sense of energy throughout the Commonwealth. I just came from Franklin. I'm sorry I'm late getting here. But people like Chris and Jerry and hundreds of volunteers who've never been involved before are getting involved. And it's because they know the same thing all of us know. We need a change. My opponent's been in the state Senate 6 years, 4 years in the House before that. She's chair of the Economic Development Committee, and she's vice chair of the Ethics Committee. Two jobs that I would argue she has not done a very good job of, and I think history proves that. Economic development, she brags a lot about a bill they passed July 31st of 2010, the last day of the most recent session. 3 years into the Great Recession, they passed economic development. What did my opponent do before that? In January of 2009, she took the time to co-sponsor legislation to give in-state tuition to illegal aliens. And she waited 18 months to do anything about economic development. That's not the kind of priorities we need on Beacon Hill. I think when our unemployment rate is approaching 9%, job one in the legislature should be cutting taxes and cutting spending. What did my opponent and the other people serving the legislature do? They voted to raise the sales tax, put taxes on alcohol, and numerous other taxes they passed. And then what did they do this year in the election year? They gave us a sales tax holiday that we couldn't have last year. In the election year we could have it, in the non-election year we couldn't have it. It makes no sense to me. They try to argue it's, well, we couldn't afford it last year. Does anyone remember what our structural deficit was last year? $2 billion. You know what it is this year? $2.5 billion. They're going the wrong way. And it's because they haven't learned what every household in the Commonwealth has learned. You can't live beyond your means forever. You have to cut spending. I've been endorsed by CLT's 2.5 PAC because they know I'm committed to cutting taxes. This week we'll be announcing that I've been endorsed by the National Federation of Independent Businesses, the largest small business group in the country. Because they know, I understand that to create jobs we have to get government out of the way and let people spend their own money. Now, like everyone else, I need help with my campaign. It's a real team effort. We need the phone calls to be made. My opponent does have better name ID than I do. I would argue in this environment that's not a plus for her. But I do have to let people know that Ed McGrath is running and his name is on the ballot and that I am for cutting taxes. I need your help to do that. And we can do it this time. Just one quick story about the teamwork out there. I was at a standout in Franklin with some other people a couple of weeks ago, and we're waving at cars going by, and all of a sudden I see Richard Ross, a state senator who shares Franklin with my district. He's got one half, I have the other half. And he's crossing the street in his suit. He stood there with me holding a sign, waving at cars for a couple hours to help me out, a sitting state senator with no opponent of his own. And at first I thought it was going great. My name ID must be getting a lot better because I was getting a lot of toots. And then it occurred to me it was probably for Richard. But that's all right. We had the McGrath signs. I was getting my name ID out there. So anything you can do, whether it's helping with phone calls or stuffing envelopes, I'd be very grateful for your time. And my volunteer coordinator, Matt's here, and either he or I will be happy to talk to you later this evening.